Hey there, everyone. This was a very fun, unique, and difficult challenge I did on Pokemon Red and Blue. Now, to explain how we got here was I've been watching a lot of J Rose 11 where he's been doing a lot of solo runs with different Pokemon, both pre-evolved and fully evolved Pokemon, and ranking them, and it just looks like a ton of fun. And I've seen some Nuzlocks and I've seen some other glitch challenges and things of that nature. But I thought in my head, could I beat Pokemon Red and Blue with just the Pokemon that you catch before you get to Brock? But with a caveat, because as you know, TMs that you pick up along the way in the video game and that you can purchase in game, as well as find through different NPCs, you can make some of the weakest Pokemon in the game stronger. So there's some caveats to this challenge. The first caveat is you cannot use any TMs outside of the ones you get at the gyms. That's right. So you can't go pick up Body Slam and Blizzard and Ice Beam and things of that nature to make these first Pokemon actually stronger. Now, we are going to allow them to fully evolve, but they cannot complete the game over level 49. Not level 50, level 49. So once they reach level 49, I can no longer use them. Not level 49.9, level 49. So as soon as that turns from 48 to 49, I can no longer use that Pokemon, and I cannot replace them either. So it's a balancing act, and as you'll see as I go along in the game, there were some unique things I had to kind of get used to. Like in this case, my starting Pokemon, I decided to start with Charmander. Charmander. And then, there's more options at the beginning of the game, especially in Viridian Forest and where Rival 1A is. You got Nidorans and Spearow. So for this run, I decided to use Caterpie, Pikachu, Nidoran Male, Rattata, and Spearow, and then of course Charmander. Now, most of you are going to guess probably who the weakest of the 6 Pokemon was, but you know what? It's actually going to shock you who I had the most difficulty using, because there was a point in time in this game where literally I was like pulling my hair out of my head with one of these Pokemon. And then at the end of the game, when I started getting to the Elite Four, there were some really unique challenges that were really, really difficult, especially when it came to Lorelee. And we'll get into that later. But here's what's interesting. So let's get to the Brock fight right now. All right. Now, I did forget to mention 2 caveats as we go into Brock's gym and face the junior trainer. And these are very, very important. Number 1, we have to complete the gyms in order. Can't skip around, okay? And number 2, we have to battle every single trainer in the game, both optional and required. The only one I made optional for myself is Victory Road. And later on in this video, and I'm going to probably do around the halfway mark, I'm going to explain why. Because I actually did a practice run like this, just screwballing around, and then that's what basically gave me the idea, was kind of screwballing around playing this game, a game I haven't played in, God, years. So Victory Road I made optional. Now, one thing I really had to make sure of is I want to make sure before I went to Brock's gym that all the Pokemon were around level 9 all the way up to level 12. Butterfree learns Confusion at level 12. I want to make the gym as easy as possible, mainly just to get the game going. Now, one thing I did really notice at the beginning of the game is 2 of the Pokemon are very, very overpowered. Can you guess which ones they are? And I'm going to tell you which ones they are in a little bit later, but if you know, let me know in the comments section, which of the 6 do you think were the most powerful going into Mount Moon? Now, there are no limits to actually fighting wild Pokemon. So you're going to notice that I fight a lot of wild Pokemon in this, which I'm not going to show every single battle. We're mainly going to show the actual gym battles and some of the difficulties, and I'm going to talk about a lot of the difficulties as we go around. One of the things that I had made sure I want to strategize, and you'll be surprised, this didn't work out the way I thought it would, but one of my strategies I thought about was I'm going to basically, and it didn't work out the way I wanted to. I want to impress that on you, okay? Is I have made 3 evolution decisions that in my mind were going to go one way and they went another. And then one other thing kind of happened that was very frustrating, because when I first started this, especially with these Pokemon, I'm like, I don't have a lot of options. And, with Butterfree here, obviously with Geodude, real easy. Onix, going to be easy. I mean, I'm not even really talking about the battle. You guys are just watching it in real time. I mean, this was just, it was a joke. Butterfree level 12 dominates everything when it comes to rock Pokemon. If he used Bide, I would have simply just used String Shot. 4 confusions, Onix is down, and we're realistically ready to move on. Now, one thing I do different than J-Rose 11, especially for this challenge, is J-Rose usually spends a lot of his dollars on, because on his solo runs, does a lot of like potions and antidotes. And I actually was going to save my money to build vitamins. I'm sorry, I was going to say nutrients, but vitamins, in order to strengthen 3 of the Pokemon. And one Pokemon in that I thought of in my head was, you know what? I'm going to boost Butterfree death. I'm going to make Butterfree the main component of the Elite Four battles, because if you go look at the actual move sets, okay, Butterfree does not learn Psychic. The best move it learns is Psybeam on its own. The problem is that it doesn't learn much else besides Confusion, Psybeam, and Sleep Powder. Now, it does learn Supersonic at some point, but to me, Supersonic really wasn't going to be valuable in this run. Rattata obviously has Hyper Fang, Quick Attack, Super Fang, and Focus Energy. Those are going to be your best moves, at least in my opinion. And with Rattata, I had some options. Do I give him Thunderbolt? Do I give him Bubble Beam? You're going to see what I made the decision on a little bit later on in this video. And then Nidoran. Nidoran was actually ended up, because Nidoran is the only one of the Pokemon at the beginning of the game that can learn Surf, unless Squirtle is your starting Pokemon, which I will do a couple videos with Bulbasaur and Squirtle and the beginning of the video as well, but we'll make them faster next time just because everybody will have kind of used to what the challenge is. I'll just go over what the basics are of every challenge, okay? So the basics are, later on, is obviously Nidoran is the only one that can learn. So Nidoran realistically is the only one that can learn Surf, okay? Charmander can learn Cut. Obviously Pikachu can learn Flash. So there's the HMs are covered, right? But Nidoran really doesn't learn any real moves unless you really teach it TMs. If you go look at J Rose 11's great, fabulous runs, he has Nidoking and Nidoqueen at the top of his list, but that's because he teaches them to TMs. The basics of all these Pokemon is they don't learn really good moves on their own except for Spearow. Spearow learns both Agility and Drill Peck, and Agility I thought was, holy cow, you know what, that'll help me out with badge boosting. Now, if you don't know, there's a glitch in the game where badge boost actually increases all your stats 12.5%. If you want a better explanation, hey man, there's tons of them all over the internet. I'm not going to get way into it and more complicated than I need to get with it. And of course, at the end of the day, the one thing that I really noticed when it came to Pikachu is Pikachu really doesn't learn an electric move outside of Thunder Shock for a very long time. And you'll see that there's certain things that I had to do to accommodate every single decision I had to make inside this game. So let's go ahead and skip over to Misty. Now, some of you might be scratching your head going, wait a minute, you went and battled Misty before Rival 2 and before going to Bill's house? No, I just lost the footage of the battle with Rival 2. So since we're going to battle trainers in Misty's gym first, I'll go over everything that happened going up that way. So the Rival 2 battle was easy once I got past Pidgeotto. Now, Pidgeotto actually outsped Pikachu at level 14. And Pidgeotto obviously was level 18. I don't know how, but Pidgeotto outsped him. I got 2 sand attacks against me and a gust. And it just got to the point where I knocked out Pidgeotto with Pikachu. And then Rattata knocked out Abra in one hit. And then Spearow actually took out Rattata. And then Pikachu took out Squirtle. Now remember, the rival's going to have Squirtle because I chose Charmander as my starting Pokemon. Now, as you can tell, Pikachu is pretty under-leveled compared to the gym I'm in, but I decided, you know what, I'm not going to... I actually concentrated on the other Pokemon on the way to Bill's house to try to build him up and get him going. And at the end of the day, I thought, you know what? I might be under-leveled compared to what is going on with Starmie, but I figured I don't want to go battle a bunch of wild Pokemon to try to get Pikachu up to level 18 or 19. So this actually ended up surprisingly did okay, and you'll see what's coming up pretty soon. First, we have to get past Goldeen. Goldeen's really easy. You know, the one great thing about facing Goldeen as an electric Pokemon is Goldeen has Peck. Peck's just not good enough against Thunder Pokemon. Sorry. So we beat all the trainers, and now we're gonna go to Misty. So the goal I had was I didn't think I was gonna beat Misty with just Pikachu. I mean, that's unrealistic, right? Especially knowing that Starmie is more likely to outspeed everybody, and Starmie has really good special and Bubble Beam. So Pikachu, we got X Defend on Staryu. Pikachu uses Thunder Shock. Does actually more damage than I thought it would. Staryu then uses Water Gun. Pikachu for Thunder Shock. And then I got a great Paralyze. Great timing. Knocked out Staryu. Pikachu's now up to level 17. Now I'm about to use Starmie. Of course, I'm not going to change Pokemon at all. I've got plenty in the reserve. But I decided to go for Thunder Wave. But of course, Bubble Beam's going to knock me out. I figured, hey, if Misty used an X Defend, maybe I could get lucky and get a quick little quick paralyzation, so I could outspeed Starmie. Well, there's the X Defend. Butterfree, I decide, okay, I'm going to send Butterfree in, use Sleep Powder, and then switch out Pokemon to just everybody from Rattata, because Rattata had Hyper Fang. Maybe I can get it to take more damage faster. So Hyper Fang hits, doesn't do a lot of damage because that X Defend. But I'm like, maybe I can get a critical hit. Starmie wakes up. Water Gun. God, that just does so much damage. Holy crap. Of course, a level 16 Rattata. Now, I should have used Quick Attack there to take more damage before Starmie used Bubble Beam, but, you know, next time I'll have a better idea of that. Now it's Spearow's turn. Again, remember, my Pokemon are severely underleveled compared to Starmie. Takes me out in one hit with Water Gun. So, like, alright, come on, Nidoran. Come on, baby. I decided to use Poison Sting, hoping I would poison it. But, of course, one shot Storming critical hit kicks my booty patootie. Now, remember, at this point, I have Confusion and Tackle with Butterfree. But here we go. Got ourselves asleep. Just keep trying to use Tackle. The critical hit hardly does anything. Hardly any damage. That X-Defend really cost me. But the good news is Butterfree was smart enough to do it. So I end up actually resetting. Now, you'll notice that Pikachu is a little bit higher level. I did grind it out with some wild Pokemon, and it was worth it to gain a couple levels. So with a crit, I two-shot Staryu and take minimal damage. But this is where I get lucky. Watch this. This is craziness. So I stick with Pikachu. I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty close to full health. I'm going to use Thunder Wave. Starmie uses Bubble Beam and down to 2. So I paralyze with Thunder Wave, use 1 Thunder Shock, pretty much thinking Starmie's going to use something. Oh, wait, an X-Defend. So that means I get another shot with Thunder Shock, take off a little more damage. Starmie then knocks me out Tackle. Now, the cool part is Pikachu was not the only Pokemon that I leveled up. I also leveled up Nidoran, which I evolved to Nidorino, and I just started spamming Leer for a minute. So Starmie's fully paralyzed. Leer trying to counteract what was going on with the X-Defend. Starmie only takes away 11, 12 points. Another third Leer, a fourth Leer. My goal was to try to get Starmie's X-Defend wiped out. And I'm like, you know what? That way, at the end of the day, when Nidorino gets knocked out, then I can use another... Oh, wait. Fully... Wow! Woo! Nidorino! Bum, 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 bum. And that completes Misty. Now, I'm going to skip the SSN and go all the way to the Rival 3 battle. Now, look, I have been told so many times that Rival 3 is a joke. But there's nowhere to heal on the SSN, and I battled every single trainer. So my power points were low, and we'll say I wasn't up 100%. So this is a little more difficult than most would think. So obviously the Rival sends out Pidgeotto. I'm starting with Pikachu. Thunder. Oh, stupid Quick Attack. See, I get so sick of the AI doing Quick Attack. It makes me want to throw up. But hey, two-shot Pidgeotto. Next up is going to be Raticate. Now, I'm going to keep Pikachu in the battle, and there's a big reason why. I didn't have a whole lot of choice. So, Thunder Shock, I got 11 power points left. I use 1, 2, and then Hyper Fang from Raticate. Takes me down to 6 HP. Then the stupid Quick Attack. Now, I should have used Quick Attack myself. That was my fault. I'm down to basically 2 Pokemon. And so I send out Butterfree. Butterfree uses Confusion. That's going to take care of Raticate. Thank God, no Quick Attack. And I allowed Butterfree to keep Supersonic. But to me, it was just... Oh, man. Supersonic really isn't going to be useful because it misses a lot more, it seems like, than it actually hits. Now, there's going to be a common theme when Kadabra comes out and later Alakazam, and that's going to be Rattata. And I'm going to explain that a little bit later on in this video why I decided to do that. That's going to be a common theme. But of course, hey, Kadabra knocks out bloody Rattata. Now, I got 2 HP with Nidorino. Do I outspeed? No, but Kadabra uses Teleport. I use 1 Horn Attack, and... well, that's not good. Whoa, Kadabra does Teleport again. What luck! Bubble Beam does nothing. 3 teleports in a row. Well, I'll take it because at this point, I didn't want to go all the way back to the Pokemon Center. Oh, so I send out Butterfree to go against Wartortle. That's a little bit of a interesting matchup. Obviously, we're going to use Sleep Powder, put it to sleep first. Woke up, Sleep Powder again. Woke up again. So when I had all those 3 teleports in a row, and all of a sudden I get wake up, and then I get a miss, a bubble, speed drop. I decided to try to go for Supersonic. It doesn't hit. I decided to try again because I'm trying to get to the point where Wartortle doesn't keep doing things. Because I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage with Confusion, as you see right here. I mean, it's not doing a whole lot. Now I see why they're kind of disposable Pokemon, if you get my drift. Nidorino. And Horn Attack should... Nope. Oh. Wait a minute. I lost! Well, darn the bad luck. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Pikachu comes out. 1 Thunder Shock. I'm just messing. Oh, so we knock out Pidgeotto in 2 shots. I can't believe I lost to Rival 3. Well, I can, because again, you know, I wasn't going to go back to the Pokemon Center. It's just, to me, it was a waste of time. I'm leveled pretty accurately. He's under leveled compared to me. So I decided to go a little different this time. I went to Rattata against Raticate rather than Pikachu. And this time I went to Quick Attack after Hyper Fang. Didn't quite knock it out. I got a Tail Whip. And then once again, Quick Attack to make sure that Raticate was put away. Okay, so 2 Pokemon down. Now for Kadabra, I decided to keep Rattata out. Think, okay, I'll just use Quick Attack to make sure I at least get 1 physical hit. He ends up using Teleport. I use a second Quick Attack. That's some really good luck right there. Rattata ends up beating Kadabra. And then, of course, Wartortle. I decided to keep Rattata out there. Rattata uses Hyper Fang. Wartortle's going to use Water Gun, knock me out. But we got some damage done. So that's easy to bring in Butterfree. Now, please, no woke. I mean, that was just bad luck last time. This time falls asleep, stays asleep. Now we can get at least 2 confusions in. 1 confusion. Wow, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Another sleep powder. Please go to sleep. Stay asleep. Stay asleep. I'm going to give you sleeping pills. I swear I'm going to give Wartortle sleeping pills. Keeps waking up too fast. All right, and then that's Rival 3. Now, one thing I will mention is the Lieutenant Surge battle gets very, very interesting. So let's go to that. Now, what makes Lieutenant Surge very interesting is not Surge himself, but a couple of decisions I made that are actually going to affect the rest of the run. I'm telling you right now. And the first thing is I decided to use the Moonstone to evolve Nidoking early, because when I looked at his move set of what he actually learns, it's not that good. So I'm like, I might as well have the ground Pokemon to try to counteract Raichu. So here I use Butterfree against Voltorb. I put Voltorb to sleep, and then I just start spamming Confusion. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, that's basically the strategy here. Okay, I don't want Sonic Boom. X speed is fine. Obviously, Voltorb is going to have their speed increased, and we knock out Voltorb pretty easily. Now, when we look at Pikachu, I'm going to try to do the same thing. Now, Pikachu, I was afraid might outspeed me. He doesn't. Be it Butterfree goes ahead and puts Pikachu to sleep, and then we just start spamming Confusion. And what, I do appreciate X speeds on these things, but, you can't outspeed the Butterfree. That's right. Okay, so now the really big thing comes where we actually get Raichu. And of course, now we're going to go to Nidoking to counteract, because Raichu only can use electric attacks. Nidoking is a ground Pokemon. And I understand, and if you look, I actually taught Nidoking Bubble Beam just to give him a special attack. But realistically, outside of Horn Drill and Double Kick, they're not very good moves. Nidorans don't learn very good moves. Not unless you teach them by TM. They're a great Pokemon with great stats, but their move set that they learn naturally or organically sucks. So, but then again, I'm like, how can I take the advantage of this? Now, the other thing Nidoking really has that's really amazing, as you'll see, is the fact that it ends up with a lot of HP and a good defense. But it does backfire me. This move, this decision actually backfired on me a little bit later on in the game. You might want to stick around to check that out, because if you're going to do this challenge, you might want to avoid the mistake I made. You'll see what that is a little bit later on. Okay, so now we're going to teach Thunderbolt to Pikachu. Remember, we can only teach TMs that are earned in the gym, and teach HMs, those weak-bootied little moves, which actually come into play actually a bit later. Surf actually is a huge thing that actually helps out a little later on in this game as well. All right, so let's go ahead and skip along. Now, I apologize because the Giovanni 1 fight, I lost part of the footage. My recording software that I was using, we'll just say I'm not going to use it ever again. It was a cheapy, freebie one. Now I got a paid for one that works a lot better. So my apologies up front. But the Giovanni fight outside of Kangaskhan was actually very easy. Now, as we're watching Raticate kick Kangaskhan's booty butt, and we get the self-scope, there were some decisions I made regarding vitamins later on in the game that both very much benefited me and backfired. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit as we go along towards, as we get closer to the end of the game. But right after Giovanni, after I battled all the Team Rocket people, or Team Rocket gang, whatever you want to call it, I went straight to Erica, battled all the people in Erica's gym. And by this time, I have in my mind, my secret weapon. Now, it doesn't mean he ends up my secret weapon later on, but for now, it felt like my secret weapon, and that's Spearow with Drill Peck evolved into Fearow. It made Erica's gym very nice. Now, you're probably wondering, why didn't I use Charmander? Well, Charmander, I evolved into Charmeleon. And remember at the beginning of the video when I said there was one Pokemon that was a big pain in my butt? It was Charmeleon. Because Charmeleon only gets one fire move until level 38 as Charmander, level 42 as Charmeleon. And that's Flamethrower at that level. But prior to that, the best move it gets is Ember. And then finally it learns Slash, which Slash was beneficial in a lot of respects. But Charmeleon surprisingly ended up a weaker Pokemon than Butterfree. And Butterfree was actually the target of all my vitamins. As we see me beat Erica, I get Mega Drain. I actually, speaking of Butterfree, decided to teach Mega Drain to Butterfree, which actually, again, was very, very helpful and also backfired me at the same time. You'll see how it backfired on me when we get later on into the Elite Four. Now, the one thing that I did notice about when I was trying, okay, I'm a target Butterfree. He's got Psybeam. It's probably the best attack of anybody I've got right now heading into the Elite Four. My best moves are Thunderbolt, Drill Peck, etc. So anyway, going to the Pokemon Tower now, we're going to go face Rival 4. Rival 4, just so underleveled compared to the other rival fights. Not that big of a deal. Obviously, all of them get knocked out pretty pretty easily. I'm not over leveled, but I'm a lot higher level than what the rivals Pokemon are. Pidgeotto goes down easily with Pikachu. That's a one-shot with Thunderbolt. And then Growlithe is added to the team now. So, and it was nice giving Nidoking Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam was a big part of Nidoking, even though his special is not that great and it's not a same type attacking move. It still was beneficial and helped me out during this run big time. I thought at the end of the day, giving Nidoking Bubble Beam was actually better than giving it to Rattata. And by the way, what's interesting is Super Fang with Raticate actually comes into play and helps us during this run later on. It's actually shocking because I always considered Super Fang to be a horrible move because it's a set damage move and it's only good really for the first attack. It's not going to knock a Pokemon out, but it actually was very, very beneficial later on in this run with the last gyms and the Elite Four. Now, again, one of those situations where Slash worked out really good there, by the way, where I pumped a bunch of vitamins into Butterfree as I went along in this, thinking if I could get Butterfree to one-shot a couple of the Pokemon with Psybeam, then it would help me mask a lot of deficiencies. Because remember, I can only go to level 49 and then I'm done. So 48 is the last level. The last attackable, movable level. And so the strategy behind it, I was trying to think ahead. But let me tell you, I know now why these Pokemon are considered disposable towards the end, except for two. And I'll explain what those two are a little bit later. All right, let's just skip right into Self Company. Rival Fivel. Yeah, that's right, baby. J Rose 11, your rival Fivel is here. Now, this was a difficult battle. And the reason being is his Pokemon now have real moves and out-level me pretty good. Now, I made a mistake here. I forgot to switch to Pikachu, so I actually end up using Spearow. Now, I was actually shocked that when I did Drill Peck, it did pretty good damage for a critical hit on a same type attack. So, two-shotting Pidgeot with Drill Peck was awesome. Growlithe comes out. Now, Growlithe more than likely is only going to use Roar, but we're going to bring out Nidoking anyway. Nidoking will simply use Bubble Beam. Now, notice I did keep Thrash, and I also taught Nidoking, spoiler alert, Strength a little bit later on in this game, just to give it more attacking moves. Then we got Execute. Execute comes out. This time I decide, let me try Charmeleon because he's so under-leveled. I'm trying to give him some points, trying to get him some experience. And it's just, look how bad Ember is. Look how bad Charmeleon is. It's just so... I feel bad because Charizard and Charmander were my favorite Pokemon growing up. Okay, now we're going to stick with Charmeleon. I'm going to try use Slash with Alakazam. Oh, I'm sorry, Scratch or Cut. I don't have Slash yet. I forgot 33, level 33, duh. And Cut and Scratch don't do anything. You know, Alakazam is simply recovering. It's just, this was very, very hard to play, very, very hard to watch, very, very hard to edit. I mean, not fun at all. You know, confusion from Alakazam pretty much almost knocks me out. I do one more Scratch. Of course, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boop! Charmeleon's out of commission. But you'll notice almost every battle, it's been Rattata, Eradicate versus Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam so far. And you notice there's a trend. And to me, they always say psychic Pokemon don't have a weakness in Generation 1. I'm finding normal Pokemon and physical moves are actually the way to beat psychic Pokemon. Because normal Pokemon are not super, how I put it, they're not super weak against psychic. So I think they kind of balance each other out. The more I played around, the more Pokemon I faced, both psychic and normal. Okay, so obviously we got through Rival Fivel. Next up in the world is Giovanni 2. Yeah, my singing's horrible. But Giovanni 2, again, one of those situations where I thought Mega Drain was really going to be helpful. And at the end of the day, Mega Drain, as I said, ended up both a benefit and not so much a benefit towards the end game. And there's a reason behind that. You'll see what that reason is a little bit later. But for now, it sends out Nidorino. That's simple for me. We're going to use Side Beam. This is going to be an easy battle. Nothing much to worry about here. A couple Side Beams. He's going to use Poison Sting. That's super effective against Butterfree, but isn't going to do very much damage. I got full heal just in case. Nope, we're good there. Here we go with Kangaskhan. We're going to switch Pokemon. Now, it was a little more difficult to think of because I got to get everybody some experience, and a lot of the Pokemon I have are in the slow level up tier. So that both was very beneficial and very painful because of how long it took to do things. But again, Kangaskhan, last time we're going to face Kangaskhan, takes 3 Hyper Fangs, and good night, Irene. Okay. So, again, common theme. Raticate actually ended up one of my better Pokemon. At the end of the day, really, to me, the superhero, one of the superheroes was Raticate. But there was another superhero out of the 6. And you're going to see who that is as we go along in the video. But I'm not going to spoil it because it actually was shocking to me because I was like, what the heck? But in my practice run, the hero will shock everybody. It was Golbat. Golbat, the only TM you can teach it out of the gym TMs and HMs is Toxic. And spoiler alert, because I didn't film that one, Zubat ended up the one that beat both Lance, all of Lance's Pokemon, Golbat with no badge boosts, and beat the last 3 Pokemon with the champion using the same set of rules. Very, very shocking to me. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But as I talked about, the vitamins were a big look, as well as one thing I'll tell you about the vitamins is the good news is I went and picked up all the TMs anyway and just sold them. And I got that from JRose11, watching his techniques, because that actually was very, very beneficial. It helped me out also with some other things as well. And I forgot, oh my God, I got escape routes because I can't go teach dig. So let's try to do this as quickly as possible. Okay, moving on. Now, after I heal at the Pokemon Center and beat the Fighting Dojo, which I don't show in this video, it's time to fight Sabrina, the Psychic Pokemon. Now, she is the scariest gym leader in Generation 1, in my opinion. And the toughest part is, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to outspeed her, and she's just going to whoop my butt. Let's just look at this battle real quick. So we've got Fearow, doesn't outspeed Kadabra, uses Side Beam, takes away a lot of my health. Drill Peck, oh God. Oh, wait. Critical hit, baby. I don't know if I need it or not, but one shot is... I'm not even going to try to sing that song. Never mind. Another Drill Pick to Mr. Mime. Ooh, we got 2 crits in a row. That would be 2 shots with Fearow. Venomoth, we don't even have to predict it. That's going to be a, say it with me, one shot over the mountain and I don't know the rest of the song. Firo comes out against Alakazam. Sorry, Alakazam comes out against Firo. Alakazam uses Reflect, and that's going to be a problem. Wait, was that a Gen 1 miss? Okay, anyway, Drill Peck, yeah, we're all in trouble here. Psywave is going to 2 health is all it took away. Oh, we got a crit. Oh, ooh, I forgot about that. We got a crit. That is a gym leader, one of the toughest gym leaders, if not the toughest gym leader, in one try with an under-leveled Firo. Who says Firo is the weakest in the world? Well, I still believe he's not that great of a Pokemon, but it sure worked out for me. That was really cool. Oh boy. Moving on. Now, what makes Koga very interesting in this battle is I don't have a ground type attack like Dig or Earthquake that's super effective. I have a Pokemon in Butterfree that is weak against poison attacks like Smog, Poison Sting, and Sludge, which, spoiler alert, Sludge kicks my butt. But it's the only one that has Psybeam, so I have to really just kind of play it slow, play it easy, be a little Marvin Gaye with it and say, please no Gen 1 misses, please just go to sleep and don't wake up after one turn, please AI cooperate with me. But the reality is from all the trainer battles, like I'll give you guys an example. A battle I didn't show on here. See, Sludge just kicks my butt. Oh my God. But one of the trainer battles that I had, level 25 Wheezing, I'm at level 36, and Sludge with a critical hit knocks out Butterfree. And it was just like, that's so frustrating. And speaking of Gen 1 misses, I had so many Gen 1 misses. I believe that 1 in 267 is baloney. And I must have had just bad luck most of this game, but I put Sleep Powder on a lot of the trainer battles and wake up first turn, wake up first turn, wake up first turn. It was like, good Lord, I was running out of power points on Sleep Powder by having to put a Pokemon to sleep 4 times in a row because it kept waking up. It was crazy. Put Wheezing to sleep. Put everybody to sleep. Go to sleep. Lullaby. Wait, that's the wrong Pokemon. And by the way, I haven't even put vitamins really into Butterfree yet. I was just sitting there as I was beating this gym. I was sitting there going, okay, as soon as I beat Goga, I'm going to give Butterfree Toxic. I'm going to go to Celadon, fill that Butterfree up with all kinds of vitamins, and fill Firo up with some vitamins. And Butterfree's just going to sweep through that Elite Four. That's what's going to happen. At least in my mind, that's what was going to happen. Now, the reason why I taught Butterfree Toxic, which got very interesting during the Elite Four, that whole decision to do that got very interesting. The whole reason why was the practice round. The practice round Toxic came into, like, it was a lifesaver in a lot of respects. That and the Leech Attack, Wing Attack, and Confuse Ray from Golbat actually was super helpful in the practice run. Now, the practice run, I was playing a little Hebe, loosey-goosey with my rules, kind of trying to establish I hadn't played in a long time. So I was like, do I really want to do that? I'll let Golbat go to 50. I'll let Golbat go to 52. But in this one, I stayed very strict because I want to do these runs. Now, I'm going to let you know right now, if you've stuck around, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as it is a fresh channel, just enjoying playing Pokemon. We're going to do a bunch of Pokemon challenges, and we're going to start Gen 1, work our way to Gen 2. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. This is going to be a ton of fun, I'm telling you. Now, Blaine is my brother's favorite gym leader. He loves fire Pokemon. In fact, speaking of fire Pokemon, does anybody remember the Magmar versus Charizard fight? If you remember that, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if that's gotta be in the top 10 original battles between Gen 1 Pokemon. Magmar and Charizard. To me, it's got to be top 10 battles of all time in the Gen 1 series. Now, Blaine, super easy. Nothing really hard about the actual gym leader himself. What was difficult was facing every single trainer in Blaine's gym with having to go back to the Pokemon Center. So I wanted to make sure that I tried to make the in-game time as quick as possible. I'd only go back to a Pokemon Center if it was absolutely necessary. I didn't carry a lot of potions. I didn't carry a lot of revives. I mostly carried like full heals because that's the thing that kills you is poison. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Especially in the Pokemon Mansion. Oh my god. I about want to puke in the Pokemon Mansion. And I didn't use repels that much except for in the islands and on Victory Road because I just got sick and tired of every 2 steps a wild Pokemon comes up. But for the most part, I have pretty good luck. Nidoking with Surf, almost 2 shots everything except for Arcanine or Arcanine, as some of you will pronounce it. He almost 2 shots, ends up 3 shot because again the special attack isn't very high, and again not same type, and I have no badge boosting glitch moves at all to increase that special. And remember, we're not allowed to use TMs, but again, pretty simple, easy victory, and that makes us be able to actually go to Giovanni 4 to go get the Earthquake badge. Now, the really interesting part about Giovanni's gym is it's actually a really good gym to get some experience points from those trainers, actually better than Blaine's because they have high level already evolved Pokemon, and it's a mixed bag. It's not like it's all rock, all ground. You have some fighting, you have some normal, like there's a Tauros in there. So very, very interesting. Of course, I don't show all those battles, but it was something that you want to kind of make sure you do because his gym's a little bit like Self Company and a bunch of the other, basically a bunch of the other Team Rocket hideouts, including the game corner where you have the little spinneroonies. Those annoying, like, ooh, we're going to go for the spinneroony. You can't see me. You can't see me. We got Rhyhorn coming out. I decided to go with Nidoking. I'm just like, you know what? I'm at 44. I feel pretty confident in where I'm at. I don't think I'm going to have any Pokemon even hit 49. But, yeah, I ended up getting a little disappointed in that. And, at the end of this, I'm going to explain why. But let me tell you that it wasn't pretty. The Elite Four was not pretty at all. I mean, it was very interesting and very frustrating, but I'm going to tell you right now that at the champion battle, not to spoil things too much, but at the champion battle, I ended up having 2 Pokemon at level 49. So I had 2 unusable Pokemon. And it was crazy which ones they were. And it made the battle just even tougher than it already needed to be, especially since he's so many levels higher. And again, I noticed that with these, and just my final thought about the gyms and the trekking around the Pokemon world, I understand why these are throwaway Pokemon and why realistically the only way that these Pokemon are really any good is if you add TMs to them. And I'm going to tell you that the reason why I chose the TMs from the gyms is because I can foresee if you don't get to use the TMs from the gyms and the HMs for every Pokemon, you probably can't complete the game with some Pokemon in certain areas. Like the next area I'm going to do after I run Bulbasaur and Squirtle through this same scenario is going to be Mount Moon. And Mount Moon's interesting because I'm going to be able to use Mount Moon, basically the area, the two grass areas right before Mount Moon, and the one grass area right after Mount Moon. So I'm going to have kind of some decisions to make, and now we're going into Rival 6, by the way. But just going to get very interesting. So you're going to want to stick around for that. It's going to, in fact, if you subscribe and you get alerted to it, I think you're going to be very interested in what you actually get to see out of it. So I evolved Pikachu into Raichu. Everybody's fully evolved at this point, including Charizard, Raticate. So I got a good team for the most part. They're as built up as I can get them, special-wise through vitamins. I didn't get to do any cheats whatsoever. No cheats. No glitches, no trying to get the perfect Charmander, no trying to get the perfect Rattata. We just straight out went to town and went to work. So he sends out Pidgeot. We're going to send out Raichu. This is an easy matchup. Thunderbolt should be a one-shot. Yes! All right. Rhyhorn, we're going to simply go to Butterfree, and we're going to use Mega Drain. Now, again, Mega Drain was very beneficial and has continued to be beneficial, but I run into a snag with Mega Drain, as I was saying earlier in this video, and that's coming up here pretty soon. We got Growlithe coming up. That's easy. We're going to go straight to Nidoking, use Surf. So we have a great matchup with the rival. We have great matchups all the way around. Nidoking takes out Growlithe. Execute. We have Charizard. My brother's second favorite Pokemon next to Magmar. I'm kind of a fan of Magmar too, but I'll get more into that in another video. Charizard takes an Execute. Alakazam. What are we going to do? We're going to go to Raticate. I am telling you, that was a theme through the entire game so far. Raticate absolutely dominates Alakazam because of the physical attack. He's got weak defense. Now, Psychic. Oh, God. Ugh. I want to puke. But two Hyper Fangs. He's out. Now we go to Blastoise. I decided to stick with Raticate. Big reason why I had some revives already. I decided to use Super Fang because I wasn't sure if Thunderbolt was going to one-shot Blastoise, because when I looked at Raichu's stats, Raichu's special was not that high. Even with the Vitamin Boost and the Thunderstone upgrade, it wasn't that strong. So I wasn't quite sure. Why not use Super Fang? 16 points left. I have revives and hyper potions. I mean, to me, why not? It's not that big of a deal. Victory Road, pretty easy to do. And I didn't use any of my rare candies yet. And I'm going to show you in just a few minutes, and actually not in that long a time, I'm going to show you how I used those rare candies. And if I could go back, I think I would change the way I do it. I want you guys to let me know how you would have used the rare candies in the comments section. But we're going to kind of speed through this because I know the video has been pretty boring so far. And I'm going to try to keep these to an hour, but that's kind of hard to do in some respects. Especially when the beginning, this is the first time I've done it. I'm going to get better at editing these videos because I think the editing of it needs to be a little more condensed. But hey, not bad for a first timer. Now I'm not a first time YouTuber, but I'm a first time video YouTuber. And simply put, to me, it's just one of those things that I gotta get better at. I really do. I got to get better, and I will get better. That's the good news behind it, right? So it's just a matter of, going through, Victory Road and getting through to the Elite Four, and you know, that's what we do here. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm gonna get better at editing the videos and getting better at getting everything situated. So this is how I used my rare candies. I got most of the Pokemon up to like level 47. So I spread them out to try to get everybody right at 47, thinking that level 47, the way I'm going to have it, the strategy set up for every single Elite Four member and champion, that no one will hit 49. Everybody will hit 48. And I was just going to leave Raticate at 44 just so I had kind of a pin cushion, if you get my drift. Because I didn't think Raticate was really going to be beneficial in this Elite Four. So first off, we have Lorelee. Lorelee isn't going to be too difficult with Raichu because, of course, Raichu is going to, of course, come on, guys, one-shot Dugong with Thunder. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, that's not, oh, and you use Takedown. That's not good. Okay. All right, well, Thunderbolt, we two-shot. Okay, we two-shot. We got 96 health left. Should be fine. Should one-shot Cloyster. It does. Okay, now we're going to set up. Now, here's what I did. I decided to set up some badge boosts. Because remember, I leveled up with rare candy, so I should be fine. So I'm going to set up agilities, 2 agility, 3 agility, and then Thunderbolt with Slowbro, knock it out in 1 hit. Then I hit Jinx. I don't know if I made a mistake right there. I think I did by clicking yes. That's stupid of me, but it is what it is. I you know, sometimes we make stupid mistakes and misclick. So Raichu uses Thunder, hits Lapras down to a little bit, paralyzes, Hydro Pump takes out Raichu. I send in Butterfree, and of course Butterfree uses Mega Drain. Ooh, God. This is why I was talking about Mega Drain. Mega Drain did almost nothing. It's super effective on Lapras. I have pumped up Butterfree's special attack, and it barely did any damage. Craziness. Now, here comes the easiest Elite Four member. We should have just gotten a hall pass because Bruno sucks. Realistically, just sucks. It's like a waste of my time. But I use Mega Drain. Mega Drain, of course, does really well with Onix. But man, that really disappointed me about Lapras. I thought, oh yeah, that's not very much. Ooh, that was terrible. Now I decided to use Fearow because I want to spread out the experience points. Because remember, we do not want to hit level 49. So Fearow does well. Gets Hitmonchan. Gets Hitmonlee. One-shots Hitmonlee, two-shot Hitmonchan. And then Onix, we go back to Butterfree. Butterfree then does Mega Drain. Takes out Onix in 1 hit. And then, of course, we all know what's going to happen here. Sleep Powder to Machamp. X Defend. Psybeam 1. And then Psybeam 2. So Bruno, of course, easiest Elite Four member. He absolutely sucks. It is what it is. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are heading to the lottery. That's right, the Agatha lottery. Because we never know how this is going to turn out. Now, I thought Butterfree, this is gonna cruise. Butterfree's going to cruise through this. Absolutely cruise through this. Look at it. Sleep Powder. It's going to hit What? Oh my God. A 4-shot. Oh my God. A 5, 6-shot, 7-shot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, that teaches me. So basically filling Butterfree full of vitamins didn't do, excuse my language, but didn't do dick. I probably, if I could do it all over again with Butterfree, I probably wouldn't have filled it full of vitamins. I probably would have changed my strategy, who I was going to pump up. It's really going to cost me in this battle. And of course, I didn't save in between Elite Four members, guys. I'm just running straight through. I only saved it before I go into the Elite Four. So Butterfree just is stinking up the world. I side switched to Charizard. Charizard is a flamethrower. Flamethrower is really not that effective, too bad. Flame Blast or Fire Blast doesn't do much. I mean, it's just, oh, God. Ugh. No! No! Charizard. God. Just not helpful. Now I got, I'm telling you, Agatha's kicking my butt. This is not good. This is really, really not good. Oh no, Butterfree at 49. Well, I'm going to break my rule and I'm going to use Butterfree one more time. But you're going to notice something when I'm done here. I'm not going to use Butterfree in the Lance battle. So I cheated. Yeah, shoot me later, but I cheated. It is what it is. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention. Just in my defense, I wasn't paying attention at the time. I was so frustrated with the Agatha lottery. And I was just so frustrated that Butterfree and my game plan, my strategy completely backfired on me. And that Butterfree just absolutely stunk up the entire place. And it's just super frustrating. But here we go. And again, you're going to notice that I don't even pay attention to it here. But here we go with Raichu against Gyarados. That's double effective, flying and water. Raichu takes him out. We go to Dragonair. I set up some agilities, trying to get a good badge boost. Ooh. Whoopsie, that's not good. Let's try Nidoking. Yeah, let's try Strength. That doesn't do much. Oh, that's right. Because of a silly AI thing, he's going to spam agility. Both Dragonairs will spam agility, so we'll just keep using Strength and Horn Attack just to take him out, make it easy. No Hyper Beam. I probably should have done this instead of trying to be a cheesy little cheeky bugger and try to use badge boost glitches with Raichu on agility on Dragonair, but you know, and oh my God, almost one-shots me with Takedown. Oh God. Oh no. All right, come on, Charizard. We need you to make up some ground here. Flamethrower, okay, that'll work. Hyper Potion. Oh, we're screwed. Oh, this is not good. Oh, and then a Hyper Beam. Oh, this isn't good. Even I'm gonna have to revive Raichu. I just got to. We were allowed to use in battle items, guys. That I never said we couldn't. Just to let you know, it's my first in battle. Oh God, Fire Blast. This isn't good. This isn't good. Oh my God! Oh my God! Weepy Aerodactyl with Charizard. Woo! Fire Blast. Burn Dragonite. Yeah, baby. Slash. Okay, critical hit. Okay. Burn. Slam. Okay, we're good. Charizard, good job, baby. Raticate. We're just using Raticate to get him out of there. Super Fang, get it halfway down. Hyper Fang, Hyper Beam, takes us out. Fearow. Come on. Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Clutch Charizard, baby. Clutch Charizard comes back with a disadvantage against Aerodactyl, who's a rock flying Pokemon, and we win. Oh, that Raticate Super Fang came in handy. That's awesome. Now you notice I didn't use Butterfree because I noticed that Butterfree, once again, like I said earlier, level 49. Okay, the champion. Can we do this in one shot? Are we going to get one run through? Is that possible? Okay, let's see. Pidgeot, Raichu. I'm going to use agility. Agility. He uses wing attack. Agility. We're all specialed up. Thunderbolt. One shot. Yeah. Now I made the mistake. I don't think I needed to do that. I only did it just to see if I could. And it's just stupid. I mean, I ended up using Drill Peck with Spearow. I didn't bring out Raticate this time. Spearow one-shotted Alakazam with Drill Peck. Right on, we're going to bring out Nidoking. He's going to use Surf. Bloop, 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 bloop. And, oh, what happened to one-shotting? Why didn't that one-shot? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Arcanine, however you want to pronounce. Oh, no. Ooh. Oh, my God. 9 points. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, my God. Oh, I got a Leer. That kind of got lucky. I thought he was going to use Takedown again. Oh, no. Oh, how did I speed him? Oh, that Leer. That Leer made me speed up. Yes. And then we're going to go Charizard against Executor. We're not going to screw. Oh, my God. I remember that I told you that Gen 1 miss? It's another one. Oh, my God. It takes 3 shots to get Executor with Charizard. That's crazy. Blastoise. Fire Blast. Withdrawal. Flamethrower. Blizzard. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Raticate. Super Fang. Hyper Fang. Oh, I missed. No way. Okay, so I went back to Super Fang because it's guaranteed damage. Quick Attack. Oh, that was stupid. Why did I do Quick Attack? Why did I do Quick Attack? Hyper Fang. Flinch. Quick Attack. Booyah, baby! Woo! Raticate takes out Blastoise, and we did it in one try. That's the beginning Pokemon with Charizard. Let's see what that looks like. God, I gotta think it's gotta be like 19 in-game hours. I mean, it had to be. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I didn't. Oh man, I think I think it's gonna be 19 in-game hours. I mean, it took me 3 total days of playing off and on, and I don't play at a large speed up. I like other players do. I'm too old for that, and I can't keep up. But that was fabulous. 16 hours of game time. 16 hours. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna do either. I'm gonna probably do Bulbasaur